What's going on, guys? The Disowned Shadow here, and welcome back. Welcome back to what? Welcome to this. I have to find. I need this. This is my top 50 games. And we're gonna put them in a tier list. Let me just get these all. A little spoiler. So these are my top 50 games. I went through and thought of my top 50 games, and a lot of these are quite a bit different. So we're going to go through them and just talk. And I didn't put an F tier on this because none of them are F tier to me. But I will be ranking them in relativity in relevance to each other. So, like, if one of these is really good and then something's worse than that, it's going to go down lower. That's just me, though. Anyway, enough fucking yapping. Starting off with A Way Out. I love this game. Absolutely adore this game. The only thing that sucks is I have no friends to play it with. It's a good game, though. It's a really good game. I think it goes in A tier. Alien Isolation. This was one of the first horror games I played, and I remember playing it on. I think I played it on. I don't know, remember where I first played it, but I remember playing this in my dad's old apartment, like an hour and a half away from my mom's place, and I just remember staying up all night being terrified of this game. Did it age the best? Probably not. It's a good game, so I'm gonna give it B tier. Ben and Ed. Ben and Ed is a really good platformer game. It's really fun to go through and play. I have a bunch of fun with it. It's basically you play as a zombie. You're in this game show about different obstacle courses, and I like it. It's a fun game. There's a bunch of different obstacles. There's a dismembering system where you can lose different parts affect you differently, yada yada yada. I'm gonna put it in A tier. It's a good game. One of my just favorite games of all time. I really love it. Now Bloodborne's up next, and I do really like Bloodborne. I love Bloodborne. It's one of my favorite Souls-like games. The thing is, it's just as I've gotten a little bit older and as I've entered 15, 16, and I've had some issues with reaction time, it's really hard for me just to play it. In fact, the Elden Ring, Bloodborne, and Dark Souls are pretty hard for me to play because of my reaction time. And it sucks. I love them to death, but because of the fact that my reaction time has gotten worse, Bloodborne's going to go in B. I do like Bloodborne still. And also, putting it in D does not mean that it's terrible. It doesn't mean it's bad at all. It just means that compared to everything else, it's a little lower. It could be because it hasn't aged the best. Controls were a little whack. Really depends. Borderlands 2. Borderlands 2 I love to death. It is one of my favorite games in the series, probably besides pre-sequel. I think I've probably, out of all of the games, including some of the spin-offs like Tiny Tina's Wonderland, I think I've put the most amount of time into 2 and then the second most into pre-sequel. I remember playing the Handsome Jack collection when I was 10-ish. I'm going to put it in A tier. It's a good game. Some of these are going in S tier, by the way. There will be some that go into S tier. A lot of them will go in probably these 3. Quite a few will go up here, though. Castle Crashers is an immediate S tier. This is one of my favorite, fucking just go in, button mash, fucking destroy shit games of all time. It's really fun to play. I still play it to this day. I play it on handheld. I absolutely love it. It's just a good game. Cookie Clicker Going is one of my favorite games of all time, but it's going to go in D because the only reason I consider it one of my top 50 is because of the fact that it absolutely carried me through fucking like elementary and a little bit of middle school. Like middle school study halls and shit. Only reason. Gave me something to do if I didn't have any work to do. It was really fun, but it's going to go in D because it's not really a game. It's a game, but not really. Cuphead is one of my favorite, I guess, shoot 'em ups, I think. And I'm going to put it in B tier because this game has made me want to rip my own fucking hair out all the time, or like in the past. But it's a good game. Dead Cells will go in. I'm going to put Dead Cells in C. I do like Dead Cells, but I think compared to some of the other games on this list, it's on the lower end of my top 50. I think really I have to put these in. You know, how they compare to my top 50 and like how much I go back to them. So actually, I guess if it's to how much I go back to them, these two should go in C. I go back to, and I'll put Ben and Ed. Actually, okay, this is kind of reordered. I'm gonna put it in order of how much I go back to them, which means Castle Crashers is gonna go down to A. So I just move everything down. Deer Simulator is gonna go into probably C because I do like it. Actually, I'll put it in D because I do like it. It's very funny. One of my favorite like joke games. But there's not a whole lot to it. I can sit down and beat it like within an hour. And then just spend another fucking like 30 minutes fucking around before I get bored. Please don't touch anything. This will go in A. I go back to this game quite frequently. It's one of my favorite puzzle games. It's one of my favorite. It's very good. It's got a lot of references in it. I really like references. That's why I like that's why I like games like Crime Scene Cleaner or like Viscera Cleanup Detail. Just a lot of references in it. And it's also probably why I like one of these games. Elden Ring, if you would have asked me a year ago, Elden Ring would not be on this list by a long shot. If you had asked me like beginning of 2024, Elden Ring probably wouldn't even be in my top 100. But now I've come back around to it. As I have had more time to sit down and like focus, I like it a lot more. It's a good game. And I think, I don't go back to it a whole lot, but when I do, I go back to it for a while. And I do like the game for that. So it's going to go in S tier. Enter the Gungeon. I'm going to put it in C tier just because of the fact that I don't go back to it a whole lot. But looking back, it is in my top 50. Of games I've ever played, it's in my top 50. The Escapists, I can already tell you, Escapists, going to go in C. I don't go back to it a whole lot. Usually if I go back to Escapist 2. But if I really want to play a game that I remember playing as a kid, I go to the Escapist 2. Or the Escapist 1. FNAF World is really random, but I'm going in B. I love FNAF. FNAF is probably one of my favorite horror game series of all times. And I go back to it every, like, once in a while. Every year or so. Not every year or so. Every, like, maybe 4 or 5 months. But I like it. I will sit there and 100% the shit out of it. Constantly. Fallout New Vegas is an S tier. Although, like Elden Ring, I do not go back to it as much as I do other games. When I do, I will sit there and play it for, like, days on end. It is one of my favorite games from growing up as a kid. It's one of my favorite games now. It is I just love Bethesda games, to be honest. I really do. And probably both Bethesda games on this list are, I'm going to be honest, they're both going up in S tiers. I might as well just put Skyrim up there while I'm talking about it. It's right there. Forgive Me Father goes in A. It's just a good, like, Doom-like. I like fucking with different upgrade paths. They have like horde mode. Good game. Dark Souls 3, A tier. I like Dark Souls 3. It's like Elden Ring, but not as open. It's like not open world Elden Ring. It's the most polished of the 3 Dark Souls games. Has the most shit in it. Some of the some of the bosses in general are some of my favorites. Like Yorm the Giant's one of my favorites in the entire series. The music is just classic. Is just like not classic because it came out in 2016. But it is just, I feel like some of the songs from Dark Souls 3 are some of the most recognizable in the series, in the 3 Dark Souls games. And a lot of the recognizable songs are split between probably that and Dark Souls 1. So yeah, I think it goes there. Goat Sim. I put it in A tier. S tier. I think, just like all of these games, I don't go back to them like every couple of months, like I would expect. But when I do, I sit there and do, like these two, I can do, well, this one I'll do like one really in-depth run for. This one I'll do one really in-depth run for, really in-depth run. Goat Sim, I just do like a big 100% run, especially because I have the Ultimate Edition that I got off Game Pass, PC Game Pass, and so I just have all the fucking DLCs. Banger has fucking Goat Z, Goat Sim in Space. The 2 original maps are insane. The University map is small but pretty good. The Payday 2 DLC, the Payday DLC is really good. I like it. Hollow Knight is going to go in B. I love Hollow Knight, but I don't go back to it all that much. But when I go back to it, I'll do a full run of it. I don't go back, like I said, I don't go back to it all that much. But I do like it. A lot. All of these games have all of the like higher up games have good controls. This game has really kind of awkward controls, I'll be honest. But the rest of these, I do really like the controls for, especially like Cuphead and like Bloodborne, Dark Souls. All of these I like the controls for. Gary's mod, I'm going to put in C. Gmod, I spent a lot of time on as a kid because I was a very imaginative kid. I had a lot of thoughts in my head. And therefore, I thought that, Gmod's definitely in my top 50 games. I go back to it sometimes now, and we'll play some maps, or play with some mods. Just destroy the game. I love it. It's good to play. Inscription, S tier. I don't go back to it. I haven't gone back to it. Actually, no, I've gone back to it. I have gone back to it to play around with it a little bit more. It was one of my favorite games to stream. I like card games. I grew up playing Pokemon and Magic, so I just like card games. Eventually, I ended up getting into Yu-Gi-Oh! A little bit. So I like card games. I like card games. It's a good version of a card game. The bosses in it were really fun to do, sometimes really annoying, but I liked it. And then the way that it switches style every once in a while is crazy. The story is insane. It's good. Half-Life 2 is going in S. No, I'll put it in A tier. I don't go back to it all that much. I have fun when I play it. The controls are a little awkward, kind of like Gary's mod, because it's an older game. It's an older Valve game. Not like awkward, but compared to some of the other games on this list, outdated controls. I guess while we're up there, put Portal 2 in A tier. It's the same kind of thing with A Way Out. I'm actually going to put A Way Out up in B tier. If I have the chance to go back to it, I'll put Dead Cells up in B tier too. Fuck it. Expand B tier a little bit. Yeah, Gungeon can go up in B tier too. These games are games I guess I don't go back to, but when I do, I have fun. These ones are like games that I barely go back to, but I have some fun, or it's like an AFK. Portal 2 and Half-Life 2 are both... Half-Life 2 is good, and it goes above Portal 2, Portal 2 I can't play. I guess Portal 2 I'll put down in B because I can't play it without... No, actually, put it up in A. I'll put it back up in A because I can play it without friends. But I really like... If I get the chance to play it with friends, amazing game. I love it. One of my favorite games of all time to play with friends. That's just it. Half-Life 2 is also a great game. I have played Half-Life 2 a bunch. I've played mods for it. I've played things that have run off of the base of Half-Life, which are a lot of games. Haven't gotten the chance to play Half-Life Alyx. I do want to play Half-Life Alyx, though. That shit. VR at Half-Life seems amazing. Lego Star Wars The Complete Saga. I remember having this shit on the Wii. I remember I would sit there, and I didn't know what I was doing, because I was, fucking, 5. But I got this shit for the Wii at I think it was fucking Goodwill. And I just love it. I have it on my PlayStation off of what used to be the catalog for PS Now, I think was what it was. I have it and I love it. I really want to go back to I should play it again. I should stream it. Mario Odyssey is an A tier. I don't go back to it a whole lot. Actually, no. Put it up in S tier because it's one of those games that when I am on a trip, I'll bring my Switch with me or something. If I'm in the car, I'll bring my Switch or a Steam Deck with me. And Mario Odyssey is one of those go-to Switch games for me, and then I end up getting addicted to it even after I get back home. And so I just sit there and 100% it. I'm insane. What can I say? I'm crazy. I just love 100% in games sometimes. Jedi Survivor, I will put in A tier. It was released, I think, a couple of years ago. 1-2 years ago. So I haven't gone back to it since I beat it. I did 100% it. And I haven't gone back to it yet. But it was good. When I first played through and 100%ed it, I loved it. Big step up from Fallen Order. Fallen Order was, and that's not even saying Fallen Order is a bad game. Fallen Order was a fantastic fucking game, by the way. Survivor to me was a big step up to Fallen Order. And Survivor also has so many new, has so much stuff. I think you got double bladed in Fallen Order. In Fallen Order. And then in this, you get so much... I feel like you get so much more customizability with your thing, with your lightsaber. You get, so many different versions of it, because you get single, double-bladed, dual-wielded, saber and blaster, fucking crossguard. There's so much... You can do so many colors with it. You can get, I pre-ordered it, so I got a bunch of the pre-order stuff. Loved that. That was amazing. Overall, just a really good game. Little Inferno is going to go in A tier. A tier. Little Inferno is one of those games that I go back to quite often. It's pretty short. I can complete it in a couple of hours. I just as someone who has had a couple of experiences with fire, mainly getting burnt by fire trying to make torches out of sticks, because I was an idiot and burnt my entire fucking hand, not even just with fire, but with a lot of things that produce heat, we don't have a good thing to get. Me and fire don't have a good relationship, but I do love it. I go back to it quite often, just so I can burn shit without hurting myself. The story is good, because it does have a story. I don't know, I just like it. Minecraft is going to go in A tier. No, actually, it's going to go in S tier. When I go back to Minecraft, there's so much shit to do in Minecraft. Obviously, I can either play single player, I can do single player, I can play on a server, I can play with my sister, I can do regular, hardcore, cheats, no cheats. A lot of shit to do. Minecraft is obviously an S tier. Notice how not a lot of these are super low. And that's because low? Why did I say low like that? That's because I really love a bunch of these games. A bunch of these games are really hold a special place in my heart. Genuinely. Neon Abyss is one of my favorite bullet hells. I don't play it a whole lot because it takes forever to beat. But I'll play it on and off. And actually, I'll put it in A because it is one. It's my probably my favorite bullet hell roguelike. One of my. I guess it's a roguelike. It's not. It's it's a good bullet hell game. I really love it. There's so many different builds you can do, so many different characters. Each character has 2 fucking forms too. It's got a target system. Really good. Mad Max S tier. S tier. This game goes hard. I love Mad Max. I've watched Mad Max movies. I've watched Furiosa, the new one that came out. I don't remember, was that a movie or a show? I kind of just sat there and watched it, so I wasn't really paying attention. I was paying attention to the show, or to the movie, show. Was Furiosa a movie or a show? I don't actually know. Hold on, you can probably see this. I can't remember. Was it a movie or a show? Okay, yeah, it was a movie. Anyway, it was a movie. I watched it. I sat there, watched it. Really good. I think it probably wasn't as good as the older movies, but it was still good. I still liked it. As someone who loves Mad Max, this game is phenomenal. I love how open it is. Something about post-apocalyptic driving is really cool. It just holds a special place in my heart. Pokemon Leaf Green. Leaf Green is one of those games that I just play constantly. When I'm having a chill day and don't know what to play, I pop open an emulator and play Leaf Green, Fire Red, or sometimes I'll go for some of the other games. Sometimes I'll play through Pokemon Red, Blue, Green. I don't know. I like Pokemon. I play it on emulators a lot. I'm still thinking about buying a cartridge and an actual Game Boy Advance just to play it originally. But I feel like that would be a dumb idea, but also a good idea. Phasmophobia, A tier. This game scares the shit out of me when you get hunted in the big asylum maps. It sucks. I don't play it alone because I don't like playing it alone, but I play it with my sister when she gets in, as we call it, a phasmophobia mood. And when we play it together, we have a lot of fun. We fuck around. We sometimes act professional, but that is completely secondary to the point of our gaming session. We usually are just being idiots. Rayman Legends is going to go in B. I have not gone back to this game in forever, and I probably should because I really like Rayman. But this game holds a special place in my heart. When I would go to the dentist, this is a really random memory, when I would go to the dentist as a kid, they had a lobby area while you would wait for your appointment to be ready, and they had a game, they had consoles in the area, and the console and what some of the things you could play on there. We're talking the Madagascar game, but more importantly, Rayman Legends. That's how I fell in love with this game. This game is legendary. I'm pretty sure I actually have Rayman Legends on one of my consoles. It's a good game. Really good game. Resident Evil 4. This is any version of Resident Evil 4. S tier. There's no doubt about it. S tier. Resident Evil, the original Resident Evil 4, amazing. Controls a little funky, but still fun. The Resident Evil 4 remake, fantastic. Absolutely amazing. Red 9's broken as ever. The Resident Evil 4 VR edition, don't even get me started on that. So fun being able to play it. A little bit of a workout because I have asthma, and swinging having to stand up, my fucked up legs get a little weak. But it's fun while it happens. And my headset also dies really quick. But, once again, fun while it happens. Resident Evil 7 is S tier, baby. Oh, look. Would you look at that? Resident Evil has gone, or we broke. S tier is expanded now. Resident Evil, I don't care what people say. Resident Evil 7 is fucking S tier to me. This game has some of my favorite bosses, favorite DLCs. It is phenomenal. I like how it's first person. I like Ethan as a character. I just like the story of it. The crafting mechanics feel solid as all hell. I like how they give you separation agent, so if you mess up at crafting, you can undo it, or if you just need materials for something else from something you picked up, you can do it. Amazing. Completing the game, all the different challenges, all the different modes, very good for collectors. If you like collecting the coins, the Mr. Everywheres. Fucking End of Zoe. I don't know how many times I've played through that DLC. Introduced me to Joe Baker, who I really hope we get to see in another game. I doubt we will, but I really want to see him again because he is awesome. That Jack fight was at the end of that DLC is amazing. Oh my god! I love this game to death. Resident Evil 7 is not my first experience with Resident Evil. I used to remember it being my first experience with Resident Evil. But Resident Evil 2 was my first ever experience. But Resident Evil 2 is what made me fall in love with Resident Evil. What made me fall in love with Resident Evil. And for my 10th birthday, I think it was my 10th. Was it my 10th birthday? Yeah, no, I guess it was my 10th birthday. I got Resident Evil 7, and I played the shit out of it. I begged my dad. I was like, Dad, I know it's $60, but please buy me this game. I was like, what is it? I was like, Resident Evil 7. He's like, they made a 7th one? I was like, uh-huh. He's like, I'll buy it for you. And then Resident Evil 8 came out, and I pre-ordered that shit, and I was just so ready to play it, and I fucking loved it. Had so many good things, and then the DLC for 8 came out, and I loved that too. A little weird, but I loved it. Just, First-person Resident Evil, I love. I do really like how 8 gave you the option to play third-person or first-person. Masterpiece. The Molded are also some of my favorite enemies, just because they look cool. They look freaky, and they're goopy. They're weird. Something about how they just come out of walls is kind of weird. That segment where you go get the arm, though, and you're in, the fucking kids area, that's freaky as all hell. Garden Warfare 2. S tier, baby! This game, oh my god! I don't think they've ever done a fucking Plants vs. Zombies shooter quite like... They haven't done a game like it quite like Garden Warfare 2. Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare 2 is probably, bar none, the best PvZ game of all time. Sue me. Don't actually, I'm too poor. Don't sue me. Please. Papers, Please. A tier. I love it. Little confusing at first. When I first started playing, it was a little confusing. When I got into it, I love it. Not much to say. I just really love it. You have to be strategic, you have to be thorough, and I like it. It's a very fun game. Usually I don't like being thorough, but with certain games, I do. Power Wash Simulator, S tier. I go to it when I need a calm game to play. Just wash some shit. If I want to have a game where I want to clean, but I want to be an idiot and be panicking about it, I'll play Crime Scene Cleaner probably now. But if I am not feeling good, I just want to be alone, and I want to just play something calm, I'll go play Power Wash Simulator. Good game. Really good game. The DLCs are amazing. Risk of Rain. A tier. Risk of Rain 2 specifically. I have played the original Risk of Rain. It's very good. Risk of Rain 2 though is probably one of my favorite shooters. I guess is I think Risk of Rain is considered a roguelike. Probably one of my favorite roguelikes. Gets very chaotic very quick. It's really fun to play with friends because I've played it with friends before and I love it. I like how I like how it rewards you for being quick and punishes you for being slow and thorough because of the whole like the longer you're in, the harder it gets kind of thing. So I'll often be thorough just because I like a challenge. It's a very good game. Satisfactory is an oh, I'm conflicted. I'll put it in A tier. Satisfactory is one of my favorite like games. Duh, it's in my top 50. The fucking It's got arachnophobia. It's got one of my favorite arachnophobia modes of all time, which is it turns all the spiders into cats. Actually, hold on. I don't know if it'll show. Uh is it showing? Oh my god, it is showing. This is what it does. This is the arachnophobia mode for the game. Turns them into cats. And that's part of the reason why I love this game. Because if you didn't know, I have arachnophobia. I hate spiders. Which is one of the reasons why I think Resident Evil 7 is terrifying. Because that entire old house segment with all the fucking spiders. And they jump on you and then Marguerite turns into one. Makes me want to throw up. And it actually kind of scares me. Same with Bloodborne. I hate like ROM. Ugh. Saints and Sinners is going to go S tier. It's one of my favorite VR games of all time, along with the Resident Evil 4 VR and Help Wanted games, obviously. An absolute workout for me. I love it's a collector's dream because every time I play that game, it's like, ooh, piece of candy. I say as I pick up something off the floor and proceed to get chased by 5 to 10 zombies depending on the area, and then the houses where you just get to sneak around and fucking it's so fun. Probably one of my favorite VR. It just is my favorite VR game, followed in order by my 5 favorite VR games, best to worst, just because it's in worst. It goes Saints and Sinners, RE4 VR, Help Wanted 2, Help Wanted 1, Help Wanted 2, and then probably Beat Saber. Because I just like it. Void Train is an A tier. It is a really good survival game. If you don't know what it's about, I highly recommend looking it up, watching videos on it. I love it. It's really fun. Basically, you're on a train in the void, and you get to expand it every once in a you'll collect stuff outside of the train, and then you'll eventually come into these like stops where you can expand your train and like loot the buildings in the area, kill enemies, get ammo. Really fun game. I really like it. It's just a good game overall. Slime Rancher, S tier, specifically the first one. I haven't played all too much of the second one because I'm waiting for it to get a full release. I don't know if it's gotten a full release yet. It might have. S tier. You suck up a bunch of slimes. I like making combos. I like causing havoc on my plots. The story. I like going to the vaults, maxing out the 7Z Corporation. Just making money. If I want to be a millionaire, go-to game. Outlast, S tier. Look at how many. I just realized I'm putting so many of these in S tier, but they're my top 50 games of all time. Of course, I'm gonna put a lot of them in S tier. I love these games. You can probably see what my fucking bottom 2 of my 50 are. These are in no specific order, by the way. They're just you can generally see where they fall in my top 50. Just because they're in the D tier of my top 50 doesn't mean they're bad, though. It just means that they're not my favorite out of my top 50. Sue me. Terraria goes A tier. I like fucking around with different builds. I like doing little things. little challenges. Modded Terraria is really fun. I like making big ass mod packs that broke my computer to the point where it stopped working. I don't know. Terraria is just really fun for me. It can be kind of hard to get into it sometimes, but if I can get into it, I have fun with it. Rogue Legacy 2. I think I've literally called it. If I go on my YouTube page. Hold on. Side quest. Sorry, I was watching Elden Ring. My favorite roguelike. I literally call it my favorite roguelike of all time. Because it is. It's my favorite roguelike. I go back to it quite often. I like when I'll be on like call with someone and I'll be like, "Want to watch me play a game?" And they're like, "Yeah." And if I don't know what to play, boot up Rogue Legacy 2, baby. Skate 3 S tier, Forest S tier. Might as well just what the fuck? Might as well just get him out of the way. Ooh, I haven't even fucked with that. Might as well just get him out of the way. Skate 3, I love just going around and doing stupid shit. The Super Ultra Mega Park, doing that, fucking around doing different things. Cheat codes, playing as like Isaac Clarke. You know, mini skaters, Dem Bones and Meat Man. Amazing. I loved as a kid, I loved making characters from games. Like I made a bunch of Undertale characters in Skate 3 and I loved it. Really amazing. I love customizing characters in that. Customizing my board. There's so many different options. Doing all the challenges. Danny Way's Hawaiian Dream has one of my favorite places. Just big trick lines. The fucking, I think it's the university area. I think it's not the dam. There's a place near the, Port Carverton University, I think, and it's the like not sewer. You know what I'm talking about. It's the thing. It's like the near the big like globe thing in the university, and you drop down. You get a lot of speed, and you do that big fucking jump off of the one tunnel. I don't remember where it is. Hold on, is that the dam? Yeah. The dam. I think it's the dam. Yeah, this area. I think it's the University Dam. My favorite spot to go to for huge trick lines. I love it. And then obviously the Forest, S tier, has some of my favorite enemy designs in the game. Exploring caves is really fun. I played it with my sister a couple of months, like maybe probably about a year ago. Love it to death. Sons of the Forest is really good, but Sons of the Forest didn't quite make my top 50. It's pretty close though. These are just my top 50 of all time. That includes recently, from my childhood, from when I was a kid. I'm kind of shocked that like Super Mario 3 or like Wind Waker didn't make it on this list. But I guess I have played a lot of good games since then that have outclassed them. But don't get me wrong, I do like those games still. Just because it didn't make my top 50 doesn't mean I hate them. No, I like them. There's still some of my favorite games. I think probably my next 5 would have been Wind Waker, probably Sunshine, Wind Waker, Mario Sunshine. Oh God, probably like I said, Wind Waker, Mario Sunshine, Pikmin, maybe Cry of Fear, probably, and then, what is it called? Ghost Runner. I don't know why I couldn't think of that. I haven't played Ghost Runner 2 yet. I think I have it, but I haven't played it. But yeah, this was my top 50 of all time. I might do a follow-up of this, of my top 25 DLCs, which you'll probably see a lot of these games returning. Not Elden Ring. I haven't played the Elden Ring DLC yet. But you'll probably see quite a few of these return. If I ever, or at least a couple of these return. Mainly, fucking, where is it? Where did I put it? And, those are probably the ones you'll see. And maybe, but those are the ones you'll probably end up seeing come back if I do the follow-up where it's my top 25 DLCs. But anyway, that was my top 50 games of all times. What? Of all times? Top 50 games of all time. I hope you enjoyed just this little tier list video. I'm not feeling too good today, so I just wanted to do something small. My sister's not feeling good either, so I was just like, I'll do this quick. I'm probably going to go back to rotting in bed now, but thank you guys for watching. I was, am, and always will be the Disowned Shadow. See you guys next time. Peace.